Hey, this is Mark with a little Rebuild Mark update. What a week it's been. Remember last week I was saying how I just magically had this attitude adjustment about stationary trainers and I was loving it? 2 more rides and not so much. I was 30 minutes in this morning when it just hit me. I really don't like that stuff. I don't care about how cool Zwift is, and it is cool. It's amazing, the stuff it does. I still just don't like it, but it is the tool that has allowed me to get rides this week when otherwise I wouldn't have. I had great plans Wednesday for taking the day off in the afternoon and riding that all fell apart because I squeezed a hydraulic brake without a wheel in place and spent an hour trying to sort that out. The trainer has helped immensely and I'm going to keep using it, but I'm telling Zwift right now, you got $15 from me this month. You'll get it next month. You're not getting it in June. Enough said. Saddles. I've talked a lot about saddles because I can't quite figure out which one I like. I bought a very nice Physique Terra Argo X3 saddle. Love the shape. I've gotten 3 rides on it so far. I think maybe I overshot the width. It's kind of hard to measure your own sit bones. I bought the 160 millimeter saddle. I kind of think I might need the 150. So I'm going to get one of those coming and check it out. I still haven't gotten the bike fit schedule, but I hope to do that as soon as possible because I'm still having a little bit of neck issues, but the saddle's definitely better. I like the shape more than the saddles I've tried before. So we'll keep working on it. I've got a little more time before the event. Hopefully we'll get that sorted out because it is a key piece, key contact point. It needs to be right. We've talked about clothing a little bit and how many pockets are on gravel clothing, how all of it's green. Well, not all of it's green. Here's one of the jerseys that Endura sent, and I wanted to bring it because I finally gotten to ride it when it's hot, because just a few days ago, in fact, yesterday, it was 80-something degrees here in Colorado. Today it's snowing. Yay, Colorado in the spring. But when it was hot, and even with a hydration pack on the back, I was shocked at how well this jersey kept the moisture off of me. I sweat a bunch. That's an important thing. Kind of crazy. This material, which is not merino wool, feels just a little bit like wool, but it's amazing how well it sheds the water. I stayed cool the whole time. Usually I'll spend a lot of time with zippers up and down trying to figure out how to stay cool. None of that. Loved it. So I wanted to mention that. If you've had a chance to try these Endura Reiver, the gravel series of clothing, the jerseys are outstanding. The bibs are too, but this was just a standout piece of kit. Give it a shot if you get a chance. Early on, I talked about these milestones that I made up, and I didn't quite hit them in March. And I planned to have a 50-mile ride in a 100-mile week, and I only had a 44-mile ride and a 92-mile week. I have had a 100-mile week since. But by the time I get back from this little vacation break that's coming up, my wife and I are taking a driving trip through some national parks. I'll only have about 5 weeks to go. So when I get back, I don't know that I need to necessarily ramp things up, but I absolutely have to get some miles. So far, my longest ride's been about 51 miles, and I felt great. So I'm thinking I got to get at least a century. Hopefully one of those milestones was a 12-hour day on the bike, regardless of the miles. I'd like to get that in May, but I really don't have 5 weeks at that point because I don't want to be pounding it out the last week. I want a little bit of rest so I'm fresh. So in that last 4 weeks, I want to get some time on the bike. But frankly, I feel really good about it. And if I can just get a century knocked out here at altitude on the hilly terrain around here, I think I'm just going to have a ball on June 3rd. You know, I spent almost 20 years as a roadie, and I love being a roadie. I was a little worried about the difference in riding on generally smooth asphalt and gravel and how punishing that might be over the course of 200 miles. I'm pleasantly surprised that it's not as punishing as I thought it'd be. I don't know if that's a combination of the frame. This Alchemy Ronin gravel bike frame is really nice. The tire and wheel combination, a little fatter tire, lower tire pressures. Whatever the source of it, it's just not as punishing as I thought it'd be. I'm sure my mind will be different 130 or 40 miles in Emporia in June. But right now, it's a little bit of a relief to just understand that as rough as these roads can be, that the gear combination can make a tremendous difference on how much fun it is and how comfortable it can be. So I'm not as familiar with the area here in Boulder Boulder County and the surrounding areas as you might think since I live here. And Chris Case at Alter Explorations was kind enough to help make a few routes for me. And frankly, he's sadistic. I can't imagine some of the things he's put me on are remotely like it'd be in Kansas. And he's been to Unbound, so he knows better. So I think he's just messing with me. It's been a lot of really beautiful gravel terrain. It's been beautiful vistas and views. There's also been some descents that had me bouncing all over the road up against metal fences, squeezing the brakes until my hands cramped. I'm sure I'll look back on it and think that's the thing that helped, but probably not really. But it has been incredibly interesting to get out. It's one of the beauties of a gravel bike. The versatility of that bike is amazing. It's comfortable on the road. Frankly, maybe if I was riding a pure road bike right next to it, I'd feel the resistance difference. But by itself, it's great on the road. It's great on regular gravel roads. It's great on the hard-packed dirt around here in Colorado and the washboards. It's even great on this ridiculous stuff that would frankly be a little unpleasant on a mountain bike. Thanks, Chris. But seriously, Chris, thanks for the routes. It's been great. I've been on roads that frankly, I drive past them all the time, would never have known there was a route back there to ride on a bike. It's been really enjoyable and fun, and I really appreciate the help sorting these routes out. I'm learning a lot getting ready for this event, but I don't know it all yet. In fact, I hadn't even thought about lights. You have any thoughts on gear? Have you been riding gravel for years? Have you done Unbound and know what I'm about to get myself into? Let me know in the comments and follow along on slowguyonthefastride.com or slowguyonthefastride on Instagram.